Lewis Hamilton just exposed Ferrari in the middle of the Miami Grand Prix. Not after the race. Not in an interview. Live on team radio. Are we racing each other, or are we racing them? One sentence, and it revealed everything. Because Ferrari brought 11 upgrades, the biggest package on the entire grid, and still finished 6th and 7th, losing time fighting themselves instead of chasing the win. And here's why this is huge. This isn't a mistake. It's happening again. Same track, same tension, same hesitation, which means Ferrari doesn't just have a problem. They have a crisis. At first, it didn't look like a crisis. It looked like a normal race. Ferrari was there, in the fight. Leclerc pushing hard in the opening laps, holding position against faster cars, showing that the upgrades actually worked, at least at the beginning. For a moment, everything made sense. The investment, the development, the expectations, it all pointed in one direction, progress. But then, something started to shift. Not in one big moment, in small ones, almost invisible. Lap after lap, the car began to lose something. Grip, stability, confidence. And while the leaders found rhythm, Ferrari started to fall out of it. Now here's where the tension really begins. Because this is exactly the moment where teams have to react, adapt, make decisions that protect the race, maximize what's left. And inside the Ferrari garage, that's when everything slowed down. Hamilton is behind Leclerc, closing in, clearly faster in that phase. He knows it. The data shows it. The opportunity is there. But instead of a quick call, there's hesitation. And that hesitation changes everything. Because while Ferrari is deciding, Mercedes is already executing, McLaren is already reacting, and the race is already moving on. This is the moment where winning teams separate themselves. Not with speed, with clarity. Because when the window opens, you don't think, you act, immediately. And Ferrari didn't. That's what makes Hamilton's message so powerful. Because it didn't come out of nowhere. It came from this exact situation. From seconds being lost, from an opportunity disappearing in real time. And here's the key detail. This wasn't happening at the back. This was happening while Ferrari was still close enough to matter, still in a position where one correct decision could change everything. But instead, they stayed stuck, managing themselves, instead of attacking the race. And that's the moment where the entire direction of Miami started to change. Not because Ferrari was slow, but because they didn't move when they had to. And this is where everything shifts, because that hesitation didn't just cost Ferrari time. It handed control of the race to everyone else. While Ferrari was still deciding what to do, Mercedes had already made the move. Lap 27, the undercut, perfectly timed, perfectly executed. And just like that, the race was gone. Now look at the contrast. One team sees the moment and takes it instantly. The other sees the same moment and waits. That's the difference between winning and watching someone else win. And Hamilton could feel that in real time. Because from inside the car, everything is clear. You feel the grip. You feel the pace. You know when you're faster. And more importantly, you know when the opportunity is slipping away. That's what makes his radio message so important. Because it wasn't just frustration. It was timing. He knew that every second behind Leclerc was a second lost to front. And those seconds don't come back. Not in Formula One. Now add another layer, because while all of this is happening, Ferrari's car is already starting to drop off. The degradation kicks in, the balance changes, the window closes. So now, even if they make the right decision later, it's already too late. That's the real damage, because Ferrari didn't just miss the moment, they missed the only moment they had. And that's what turns this from a mistake into a problem, because it shows something deeper. A team that reacts instead of anticipates. A team that waits instead of decides. And in a sport where everything happens in seconds, that delay is fatal. Now connect that with what Hamilton said. Are we racing each other, or are we racing them? He wasn't just talking about position. He was talking about priority. Because while Ferrari was focused internally, the race was being decided externally. And by the time they looked up, it was already over. And now this is where the real damage begins. Because what happened in that moment doesn't just affect one race. It exposes something every rival team is now watching very carefully. How Ferrari behaves under pressure. And right now, the answer is clear. They hesitate. Think about it. Hamilton asks the question. He waits. The team takes time. Leclerc stays ahead. And the cars in front keep pulling away. That delay becomes visible, not just on track, in the data, in the gaps, in the final result. 6th and 7th after bringing the biggest upgrade package of the entire weekend. That's not just underperformance. That's a missed opportunity at the highest level. And here's where it gets even more dangerous. Because once something like this is exposed, other teams don't ignore it. They use it, because now they know something. If you put Ferrari in a situation where they have to make a quick decision, there's a chance they won't. Not immediately. And in Formula One, that's all you need. You create the pressure. You force the moment. You wait for the hesitation. And then you take the advantage. That's how weaknesses become weapons. Now imagine the next race. Same scenario. Hamilton behind Leclerc again. Faster. Ready to attack. But this time, rivals already understand what Ferrari might do. Or worse, what they might not do. That changes everything. Because now Ferrari isn't just racing the track. They're racing expectation. Every decision they make will be judged against Miami. Every delay will feel bigger. Every hesitation, more costly. And that pressure builds fast. Inside the team, inside the garage, inside the cockpit. Now bring it back to Hamilton, because this is where his message becomes even more powerful. He didn't just speak for that moment. He spoke for what's coming next. Because he knows, if this doesn't change, it will happen again, and again, and again, until it defines the season. So now Ferrari faces something much bigger than a bad result. A test of identity, because speed is already there. The upgrades proved that, at least in the first half of the race. But speed without execution means nothing. And that's the reality Miami exposed. Not just to the fans, to the entire paddock. So the real question now isn't whether Ferrari can fight at the front. They can. The real question is much more uncomfortable. When the next critical moment comes, will they finally act? Or will they hesitate again? Because if the answer is the same, then Miami wasn't just a warning. It was the beginning of something much worse. And this is where everything reaches its breaking point, because now it's no longer about what Ferrari did wrong. It's about what happens if they don't fix it. Because Miami didn't just expose a weakness, it defined it. A team that has speed but hesitates. A team that can fight but doesn't execute. A team that gets close but never takes the moment. And in Formula One, that combination is dangerous. Not because it loses you one race, because it repeats over and over again. Now think about the championship. Because while Ferrari is dealing with internal confusion, Mercedes is building momentum. Race after race. Perfect execution. No hesitation. And that gap isn't just points. It's structure. Because championships are not won by having one great weekend. They're won by being consistently decisive. Every race. Every call. Every moment. And right now, Ferrari is not there. Now bring it back to Hamilton. Because this is the most important part of the entire story. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't explode. He didn't lose control. He delivered a message. Clear, direct, unavoidable. Because he understands something Ferrari is still learning. In Formula One, you don't get multiple chances. You get one. One moment. One decision. One opportunity to change the race. And if you miss it, it's gone. That's exactly what happened in Miami. Ferrari had the window. They had the pace early. They had the position. They had the chance. And they didn't take it. Now here's the reality. If this happens again, it's no longer a mistake. It's identity. And once a team is defined by hesitation, it becomes predictable. And once you're predictable in Formula One, you're vulnerable. Because your rivals know exactly where to attack. Exactly where you'll lose time. Exactly when you won't react. That's the real crisis. Not the result. Not the position. The loss of control. So now, everything comes down to what Ferrari does next. Not in terms of upgrades. Not in terms of speed. In terms of decisions. Because the next time Hamilton is behind Leclerc, the next time that moment appears, the next time the race is on the line, there will be no excuses, no delays, no confusion. Only one question. Will Ferrari finally act like a championship team? Or confirm everything Miami just exposed? Because if they don't change it, then this season is already telling you how it ends. Fast enough to be there, but never fast enough when it truly matters. And this is the moment where everything finally becomes undeniable, because now Ferrari is no longer being judged by what they could be. They're being judged by what they are. A team with potential, but without precision. A team with speed, but without control. And in Formula One, That gap is everything. Because at this level, everyone is fast. Everyone has talent. Everyone brings upgrades. Ferrari proved that in Miami. 11 upgrades. The biggest package on the grid. A car capable of fighting in the opening phase. But none of that mattered when the moment came. And that's the final piece of this story. Because Formula One is not decided in the first laps. It's decided in the key moments. The moments where pressure is highest. Where the race can flip instantly. And those are the moments Ferrari is losing. Not because they don't see them. Because they don't act on them. Now think about what that means long term. Because this isn't just about Miami. This is about every race that follows. Every time the strategy window opens. Every time one driver is faster than the other. Every time a decision has to be made in seconds. Those moments will come again. And when they do, everyone will already know what to expect. The hesitation, the delay, the missed opportunity. Unless Ferrari changes it. Immediately. Because if they don't, then the rest of the grid doesn't need to guess anymore. They don't need to wonder how to beat Ferrari. They already have the answer. Force them into a decision. And wait. Now bring it back to Hamilton one last time. Because his message wasn't just about frustration. It was a line. A line that separates two types of teams. Teams that react, and teams that decide. Teams that follow the race, and teams that control it. Right now, Ferrari is on the wrong side of that line. And unless they cross it, nothing else will matter. Not the upgrades coming in Canada. Not the improvements to the engine. Not the pace they show on Friday or Saturday. Because Sunday is decided differently. It's decided in seconds. In clarity, in trust, in execution. And that's exactly what Miami took away from Ferrari. So in the end, this isn't just a crisis because of one radio message. It's a crisis because that message was true. Completely true. And until Ferrari proves otherwise, every race will carry that same question. Not just from Hamilton, from everyone watching. Are they finally racing their rivals? Or are they still racing themselves?